This is our online store. So what is it all about? So during our studies, I had a joint advertising and event agency with two friends of mine. And it felt a lot like hanging out with friends and not like work. By which I don't mean that we did not extremely struggle and did go through the crap, but that's a story for another day. So back to the online store. So my friend Lucas and I were chatting through Teams, and we're just having a call, having a good time, yada yada yada, ha ha ha, having fun. And we were speaking about the old times with the agency. And it's about four years now, so it's 4 years ago. And we were thinking about it would be cool to do something again together. And he's currently working in e-commerce at a big German brand, and I'm working in IT in a company I founded with a business partner of mine some years ago. And you have to know, since we parted our professional ways back then, we have still been good friends. So we were on vacation every year, we are chatting a lot, we are just very good friends, but we never built something together again. So an idea must first and foremost make sense to me. And if this criterion is fulfilled, it must be fun to implement it. And if both are given, I usually just start and see where it goes. And you can imagine that especially the second part, is making fun, is way easier achievable if you do something with your friends. I know there's always the risk that the friendship suffers from that relationship, but in this case there's no big risk. It's just a hobby project, and I can tell you a story about this friendship suffering throughout business relations, but that's for another day. Means we have chatted about what currently drives us, and for me it was creating an e-commerce store with real products. Because with digital goods, I already had the experience with the video game and stuff like that. We can talk about it soon. The next logical step for me was to see, are there some ideas for products which have not been developed yet, and see if we are able to create them and to improve them. And that opened a door for me and Lucas, because he was immediately on fire and played a big role within the first collection, because he was already very deep into some design topics, and also his working background is e-commerce, as I mentioned, and therefore he brought up the idea for the first product collection, or for the products in the first collection. So, and because we know each other now for such a long time, the tasks throughout our new cooperation were pretty easily given. So Lucas was doing design, I was doing IT. We both were doing product design. Yeah, and suddenly the new brand, Pure and Analog, was born, or as we call it, P&A. What exactly is the idea now of P&A? P&A is supposed to be our vehicle to overcome complexity and to reinvent simplicity. Sounds kind of abstract, I know. What does it mean in particular? Basically, we want to offer an alternative to all this disposable, mass-produced stuff out there. So everything from the raw material, the processing of the products, even the shipping is done by partners who are known to us. And for example, the shipping, there's a friend of mine called Torben. They also have an online store. They are working like in the merchandise, video game, series, anime, stuff like that. It's called Der Kremer, and they have their warehouse in the town where I was born. And so it was very easy for me to connect with him, because he's a friend of mine. So he's in a big friend group which I have since 15 years or something. And so I told him, hey, we want to create an online store as well. Would it be possible to use your warehouse, and could you maybe do the shipping for us? And he was very happy to help us. And this is just some example I want to give, because I think it distincts our vision from the current market view, because there's a lot of drop shipping stuff. There's a lot of copying products and producing them in East Europe or in the Asian cheap markets, and then selling them in Europe and North America and stuff like that. And we just did not want to follow that way, because first and foremost, we're not really here for the money. Of course, e-commerce is always about at least being plus minus zero. but that's not the main driver. It's more like, you know, for example, we at least once a week we have a call, Lucas and I, and we speak about everything that is important right now, like what new products are there, meetings we have to do with suppliers and stuff like that. And we of course also speak privately. And this call does not feel like work at all, because it's just meeting Lucas, having fun. We're laughing a lot. My girlfriend's always complaining that I'm too loud when I speak with Lucas because we're laughing all the time. And because this is our background, we can afford not to only look on improving our margin or only on look who's the cheapest supplier and stuff like that, but rather we work with the people we know because we know the quality, we have trust in them, and we know that it's possible with them to create a sustainable way of producing products. So we want to combine aesthetics with local supply chains and trusted partners. And these trusted partners of course bring high quality materials. And we now tie it all together and brand it under the mindset of simple again. So we do not want to reproduce the shit that has been done 4 years ago, but rather overcoming the complexity that there currently is in the world and having well-designed, amazingly manufactured, simple products. We want to work with a so-called collection model, and then piece by piece go through your flat and think about what are the products currently and how can we improve them, how can we make them more simple, more elegant, and then see with our partners what products we can develop. So for example, this refillable notepad, where we thought right now notepads are written in until they're full, then they're thrown away, and that's it. And we wanted to give you a sustainable base for brilliant ideas, which you can use your whole life. Yeah, so we started at the desk with our first collection. That's the desk, of course. And with the second collection, we want to build on that and improve the desk collection. And then we already have ideas for a kitchen, for bathroom, for the cozy collection. Yeah, but we'll talk about that in the future. So without implying anything, we just want to give the opportunity for our customers to substitute piece by piece their current cheap mass products against handmade, unique pieces from sustainable materials and manufacturing. So why do we do it that way? Are we activists who glue themselves on train roads in order to stop the traffic and reduce CO2 emission? Or are we capitalistic nerds who want to make use of the zeitgeist? But that is not important here. So for us, it is more about this making sense. So if we make an online store, it must be future-proof. And from our perspective, sustainability is one of the criteria for being future-proof. And the long-term vision would even be to be CO2 negative. So for example, you buy a product, we do not only compensate the CO2 emission within this within this production of these goods, but rather, for example, if we talk about planting trees in order to reduce or to balance out the CO2 emission, we want to get there to plant more trees than necessary in order to balance out that CO2 emission. So that if a customer buys a product, he does not only maybe has a good conscience and is plus minus zero CO2, but even has a positive effect on the CO2 emission. And that will be our goal in the long term. But right now, from a financial perspective, in pricing the products, it's not possible, but we're working on it. Yeah, so that's it for our background. Tell us what you think about the philosophy and about the store in general. Soon I will show you the first collection, and then you can throw us everything against our head, what you do not like, and that's important. Please mostly refer to what you may not like or what you would change, because compliments are always nice, cool, but it doesn't really give you a new impulse. So it may only strengthen our current ideas, which is also good, but if you have something to criticize, that's even better for us. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day and see you next video.